Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been making headlines all over the UAE because we're talking about new scanners that will detect potential COVID-19 cases for entry to Abu Dhabi and even public places. Now, we know ever since the COVID-19 pandemic, there has been a checkpoint to go into Abu Dhabi. You have to provide a negative PCR test to get into the Emirates of Abu Dhabi. But now, they're making it a lot more easier that they will detect or they will scan you at that checkpoint, making it a lot easier.
Yes, indeed. Now, we do know that one of the biggest telltale signs for COVID-19 is having a high fever. It doesn't mean that if you have a high fever, you definitely have COVID, but it is one of the biggest signs that many gadgets and many tech that was born during this pandemic were actually using to be able to differentiate between who needs to be tested, who needs to get a PCR test, and who doesn't and just needs to go on with their lives. But as we look at Abu Dhabi, they've had the checkpoint system on ever since, I think, beginning of the COVID-19 or midway through the pandemic, and they've been existent up until now. So one way for them to make it easier for people instead of having to get the PCR test, and as they look to slowly start removing these checkpoints, is to basically have these scanners. This scanner is basically kind of like a thermal camera from what we've seen through the videos that the authorities have shared. The thermal cameras can detect if someone has a fever. If they do end up looking like they have a high fever, then the authorities will ask him to conduct a PCR test within 24 hours. If that person does not have a fever, then chances and odds are you probably don't have COVID-19 and they'll just let you go without a PCR test.
Now, so far, this is during a pilot phase. So the scanners will be used at entry points to enter the Emirates of Abu Dhabi, the entrance to select public locations on Yas Island, and even at designated points to enter or exit Al Musaffah area, which is basically As-Sana'iyya right here in Sharjah. Now, the new system of scanners will be an add-on to the existing precautionary measures. As of now, we do know that people entering Abu Dhabi need to show a negative PCR test result within 48 hours or even a negative DPI result, which is that blood test, within 24 hours. Now, the initiative is in line with the Abu Dhabi's four-pillar strategy to combat COVID-19 and is focused on vaccination, active contact tracing, and even safe entry and adopting preventive measures. So I think that you're having so many options to show whether or not you're negative that it's much better, because for people like me, if I do a DPI test, which is that blood test, it's always going to show that I have an infection.
Yeah, because you get sick without knowing.
Because I have a weak immune system.
Okay.
So if you have a weak immune system, your body always is fighting an infection. So that's what happened to me. I remember the first time I did it, I thought I had corona. But turns out I'm just an old man.
Well, good news is if let's say the scanner detects that you may have COVID-19 and the authorities require you to go ahead and do a PCR test, all PCR tests related to the red results from the scanner are completely free. And this is all part of the efforts that the UAE is doing to help fight this virus, to help make sure that we are all safe, and to also make sure that people go ahead and get vaccinated. Because now, if you get vaccinated and you continuously get PCRs every week, I think you can maintain that. I think it was the E on Al Husn app or the I.
I think it's after you're vaccinated, you take that PCR test. And we're looking at Abu Dhabi doing a lot of things now. We do know that you need to have Al Husn app to enter, and you have to be vaccinated to enter malls, cinemas, a lot of public places. And I believe that is great. Again, that is supporting and pushing more people to get vaccinated. I think the vaccine has been out for a couple months now, 7 or 8 months. And alhamdulillah,
we're almost due to our booster shot, honey.
I took the vaccine and I feel great. I mean, alhamdulillah, it just goes to show, and statistics do show that people who didn't get the vaccine got sick, and people who got the vaccine didn't.
Exactly. And now we are looking at Abu Dhabi actually becoming an entirely digital Emirates. You know, people going into malls have to showcase that green QR code on Al Husn application, and they do have to be vaccinated as well. Let us know your thoughts. What do you think of those scanners? Have you seen the videos that has been all over social media of authorities trying it out? We want to hear your thoughts. 4215, do it to Salat or slide into our DMs at Pulse 95 Radio. But coming up, we're going to put you into the summer vibes as we talk about traveling once again. Fly Dubai and Al Husn app are actually partnering to make travel become a lot easier, even amidst a worldwide pandemic.
Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
When June hits, we all start thinking about traveling, getting to explore the world, or visiting family and friends. And Fly Dubai as well as Al Husn want to make this a little bit easier because they're both partnering to make travel become a much more seamless experience amidst a worldwide pandemic. Al Husn application right here in the UAE is your lifeline. If you want to go to Abu Dhabi, if you want to just make sure that you don't have COVID-19, you open up the application to check your results for the vaccine, to check for your results for your PCR test, as well as see that you got vaccinated. But citizens and residents, as well as visitors of the UAE, can now use this application as well to check into their flight without having to present any printed or hard copy of your negative COVID-19 PCR test.
Yes, now Fly Dubai has partnered with Al Husn, which is the official UAE app for contact tracing and health testing related to COVID-19, to provide passengers with a digital verification of COVID-19 medical records while traveling from the UAE. Now, Fly Dubai actually does become the first airline to partner with Al Husn to offer this service to its passengers. Now, again, I think that soon enough we're going to be seeing all airlines that operate from the UAE implementing Al Husn app, because it would just be much easier to show the app and say, hey, I'm negative, I have the E, I have whatever. Let me board my plane. Now, we do know that Al Husn was developed in the UAE and is a joint initiative between the Ministry of Health and Prevention and local authorities, and it is endorsed by the National Authority for Emergency and Crisis Management. So, again, this is authorized. It is backed up by the UAE government, which, again, it means it is authentic. So, you don't have to go to any medical center, get that paper. Just the Al Husn app has everything for you. And we're looking at the Husn app becoming that one-stop place that has everything related to COVID-19.
Yes, indeed. And we do know that, you know, during the years as we start to live with COVID-19, we do need to make sure that we showcase documentation that we're vaccinated, or at least that we have a negative PCR test. You know, when people travel during COVID-19, it becomes pretty difficult because you don't just get the regular PCR. You need to make sure that you inform the authorities, the nurse that is doing the PCR for you, that you're planning to use this for travel so that they can go ahead and give you that report. Sometimes people struggle with finding the report on the app or printing it out, or, oh, I didn't print it out in time. So now you're cutting all that hassle out, and all you need to show is that application and that negative PCR test on the app. Now, this service is available for all Fly Dubai passengers that are departing from Terminal 2 at Dubai International Airport, and they are also planning to integrate this service for flights that are departing from Terminal 3. It's all being developed and will be introduced in future phases of this program as well.
Now, hopefully, I'm looking at an international, a global app to do this as well.
Yeah.
Just so life can go back to normal. Now, we do know that, again, the summertime is travel time, and a lot of people aren't traveling because of the COVID-19 restrictions, but if it is made easier, trust me, a lot of people will start traveling. I mean, I got my mom, she's leaving in about 20 days. My whole family's leaving to Miami for a whole month.
Oh, God.
So
we're going to go back to Lonely Annie again.
Lonely Annie again, you know? I'm gonna be very lonely the next couple of months. I think the next month and a half.
Oh, they're going to stay for a month and a half?
The month and a half, and then you got you.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got a lot of everyone just leaving Hani behind, you know? But I'm going to be having so much fun
with the Al Husn app in the UAE.
With the Al Husn app and with the Pulse 95 listeners. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking a short break. But when we come back, we're talking about the new social network that will be taking on Facebook groups.
Pulse 95.
Apps all around.
What's worth a click and download?
Pulse 95.
We're looking at a new social network that will be taking Facebook on. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about IRL now. When I think about IRL, the first thing that comes into mind, is in real life. That is the abbreviation
Same.
of it. But we're looking at how this might be challenging Facebook groups. Now, it is actually a SoftBank-backed app that already has 12 million users. So it is already quite developed. Now, we do know SoftBank actually been behind a lot of great robots.
Pepper the robot.
You gotta remind me which robot. Pepper the robot.
Yeah.
We saw him at Jidix. Was it
Yes.
him or her?
It was, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
We'll call her they.
They. Well, this company has created so much in such a few amount of years to begin with. But what makes it interesting and what makes me have some hope in IRL is the fact that when Facebook started out, it started out small. Mark Zuckerberg, he was alongside a roommate in a dorm room, and they created the social media app. But the only difference is times have changed. And now, if you're not big, and if you don't start out big, there is a very, very small chance that you'll be able to make it. And this is exactly the issue with this application. But before we start out with issues, we'll tell you a little bit about how the app works.
Yes, now it is actually a 2-year-old startup and is betting that a post-pandemic world will fuel its mission to help people do more together, which basically means meeting up in real life. And that is where the word IRL comes for, in real life. And the idea has been attracted actually a lot of deep pockets. And we're talking about SoftBank, which is the biggest investor with a $170 million injection of funding IRL at roughly $1 billion. So what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is an app that will help you meet up with people in real life. And I think that it could be very, very useful. I'm not gonna bash it. I'm gonna say, okay, it will be very useful, but not right now. You know, I think they're jumping the gun a little bit and creating and having and doing this, but they are jumping a gun right now. And I'm looking at screenshots and it says join now for $25 a month. So is this going to be a paid app?
That's going to be a good question to pose or to ask, especially because they have invested a lot of money in it when there is no revenue coming out of the application just yet. Now, IRL is basically targeting people under the age of 18 years old. So they're trying to target that younger generation, especially because they are watching Mark Zuckerberg looking at Instagram and Facebook and trying to create Instagram for kids and Facebook for kids. So they want to try and play on that, on those notes to try and attract customers. Now, we do know that Facebook's users, they're the older generation. There is no doubt about this. You will rarely find someone who's young and on the platform. Instagram, it's basically a mixture of both, especially because now they're trying to create this application that's only for kids. So what they're trying to do is to basically create something that would help attract the younger generation to a platform similar to Facebook. So they want to experiment with allowing groups to charge for access to things like tutoring, to things like music lessons. They want to be kind of like a beneficial platform for people to learn new skills in. Yeah,
I mean, I'm looking at this app. It could be very, very useful. A lot of people actually, you know, they have a hard time meeting people, you know?
True.
Now, if you have an app that will say, hey, if you like apples, and I like apples, not Apple, the tech company, the Apple, the fruit, how about we go and do some apple picking, right? And again, some people do have a really hard time making friends.
Yeah.
And
especially for like people who like know a skill and they want to teach it to others. You can charge for tutoring over the application.
Yeah, I mean, again, so I think that this would be a very nice app, but not right now, as we do know the COVID-19 pandemic, social distancing, ladies and gentlemen. And I think in the long run, maybe hopefully soon we'll be done with this corona thing, and we'll go back to normal, and maybe I might use it as well.
Ooh, let us know. Would you be interested in using an application like this? Our text lines are open for 215. Do it to Salat or slide into our DMs at Pulse 95 Radio. But keep Pulse 95 locked because our interesting topics are going to be coming up in just a few moments.
Check this out. Check this out. Pulse 95.
Our favorite companions right here on Future Talk are robots. They're so easy to talk to. Talk to not necessarily, but they're nice when it comes to automating things that we hate doing. And this is exactly what this robot that we're going to be telling you about today is doing. So one thing that a lot of people hate doing is cleaning. You know, no, it's a chore that you just don't want to do, but you got to do. And now you can go ahead and automate it, but also have a friend in that robot as well, because UAE's first cleaner is actually doubling up as a companion.
Yes, now, well, for those who don't know, I like to clean, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
I feel clean after I clean my room, for example, or I feel like everything is put in place. I can live my life accordingly. Now, if I had someone or something to help me, which would be a robot, I think it would make things a little bit cool. Maybe I can jam and dance, because obviously we all know that we put on some music when we're cleaning, unless you're thinking about something else. But I mean, for me, I put on some nice music, probably tune into Pulse 95 on YouTube.
I mean, you can't really clean in silence.
Yes,
it's
you
a lot
cannot
funner to clean when there's music on.
Yes, now, countries including the UAE and its neighbors have been able to welcome these smart droids into public places, hospitals, and even households thanks to a thriving digital infrastructure, which has been paired with a zeal to adopt innovative tech. Now, Saudi Arabia has actually become the first country to identify a robot as the kingdom's citizen. And we talked about that with Sophia.
Yes, Sophia the robot is actually the first robo-citizen in the entire world. So we are actually looking at this robot taking kind of a similar location and similar place in our lives right here in the UAE. So when we're looking at this robot, it's actually called the Leo Mop. Leo Mop is an interesting name because it takes after mop, which is what you used to clean the floors with. And then Leo is kind of like your companion side of that robot. It actually can clean for up to 17 hours every single day. It's very environmentally friendly, so you don't have that worry of it creating any gas emissions, and it has great hygiene. So it's equipped with technology that can actually dry floors after mopping them, and it can cut water usage by 70%. So it's very sustainable in the process.
Now, believe it or not, it is actually empowered by machine learning to assign tasks to itself. So the robotic cleaner also does have sensors to avoid running into obstacles and can even adjust its speed according to the surroundings. But that's not all, ladies and gentlemen. The most silent product in its class also has very expressive eyes and its own voice, along with emotional intelligence to support those features. So machine learning, for example, what would happen? So let's say you say, hey, robot, clean the floor every time at 2 p.m., for example, right? The robot itself will start saying, hey, I think I need to go clean the floor at 2 p.m. And then it will basically be its job.
It's automatic.
Automatically that I need to clean the floor at 2 p.m. Now, it will also work as an assistant for cleaning pros. The Android can also engage in conversations with humans and also has capabilities to double up as an entertainer. So basically, we're looking at a droid or a robot that will do it all. And so imagine you're cleaning. Hey, droid, you like this song? Beep, boop, bop, boop, beep, bop. I like this song, Annie. Boop, boop, bop. I'd like it, man. I'd probably make a TikTok account. Droid and Hanny. Hanny and the droid. Think I would get famous. How much does this cost?
He has a name. It's called Leo Mop. Let's call him by his name.
I mean, Leo Mop is so generic. That's like saying you're a human.
Leo Mop.
No, it's like addressing
so
humans
personalized.
It's like addressing humans with people with human.
Yeah, like imagine I call Hanayod, like humanoid.
Yeah, no, I want to give it a name.
I have no idea.
Like my own name.
What do you want to call it? Leo? Leo the cleaner?
Detol.
Detol?
Oh no, you know what? Mr. Clean.
Nice one, Mr. Clean. Why
Yeah.
not? What I like about it is it has very expressive eyes. So he or she has a lot of emotional intelligence embedded within its algorithms. And the perfect perk of using this robot is no clutter will ever be caused. So usually you'd clean because there's clutter in the room. This robot can prevent clutter before it even happens. And if you're not at home and it's cleaning the house for you, you can even track its performance through your cell phone, because all of the information about your house, how the cleaning is going, is uploaded to a cloud service that is easily accessible within a single tap. It also has predictive analysis, just like you've mentioned, Hani. You can schedule cleaning schedules and cleaning operations, even if you're not at home at that moment.
Now, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, the robots have already been used in the region to sanitize airports and are currently sterilizing the Grand Mosque in Saudi Arabia. And they're also distributing the holy Zamzam water.
Yes.
So I think that is amazing to have a robot sanitizing and sterilizing a mosque, a masjid,
Yes.
and at the same time distributing that holy Zamzam water. That is beautiful.
Absolutely. Let us know what are your thoughts of Leo Mop, or just like Henny wants to call him, the cleaner. Is it the cleaner?
Dr. Clean.
Dr. Clean. What do you think of this robot, and would you want one for yourself? Our text lines are open, 4215 do it to Salat or send into RDMs at Pulse 95 Radio. Coming up, our show is still not over. We are going to be talking all about NASA needing our help to name its next moon-bound mannequin. Keep Pulse 95 locked. We'll be right back.
Check this out. Check this out. Pulse 95.
No, my God. I got so excited that I was going to say yes. But say, ladies and gentlemen, NASA does want you to help it name its moon-bound mannequin. Now, you're probably wondering, Hani, are we talking about like the mannequins that we see in the mall? No. We're talking about a person or a jointed model of the human body, which is used as an autonomy or an artistic-like figure. So basically a mascot.
Yeah.
Now, it does look like to be a giant leap for mannequin-kind. Mannequin kind. It's not funny?
No.
Okay, but NASA is planning to send that dummy on a flyby of the moon, and the space agency wants our help to name it.
Yes, indeed. This dummy is going to be on board of the Artemis 1 mission. It will be performing a flyby of the moon later this year, and NASA is prepping for this subsequent crewed mission that will include a lunar landing. A lot of people are excited, especially those who are big fans of space, because NASA has actually announced a contest to name that mannequin, and anyone who gets or wins the good name of the dummy will actually just be up for grabs of a big trip that NASA will be organizing. I wonder where that trip is going to be. Hope it's somewhere in outer space. But in an apparent effort to prevent the mannequin face from winning out, NASA has actually pre-selected 8 names as a part of a bracket contest. And the contenders are Ace, Wargo, Delos, Duhart, Campus, Shackleton, Montgomery, and Rigel.
Yeah.
Every name has been apparently carefully chosen.
Yes. So you know what I think the NASA team sat together like, so what kind of disgusting names can we make up? Because the only one that I understood was Ace. But for example,
Yeah.
Ace does stand for Artemis Crew Explorer.
Okay.
Wargo is a dedication to Michael Wargo, who is NASA's first chief exploration scientist. And Montgomery is a nod to Julius Montgomery, the first African-American to work at the Cape Canaveral Space Facility as a technical professional. Now, every other day starting from June 16th, you can actually hit Twitter, Facebook, or even Instagram at NASA Artemis to vote for 1 or 2 names. Now, the winner of each bracket will remain in the contest until the final showdown, which is on Monday, June 28th, with the winner name or the winning name set to be officially announced on June 29th. So it's kind of like a fun competition.
Yes.
Right? I think I would just choose Ace because it sounds cool.
I think Ace makes the most sense, especially because it's taking after.
My name is Ace and I'm going to space.
Ooh, that rhymes.
Yeah.
That rhymes really nicely. Now, the purpose of the mannequin isn't just because NASA wants to tweet entertaining photos showing what the crewed Artemis 2 mission might look like. What they're actually trying to do is to play a vital role in the mission. They have carefully placed different sensors on the mannequin's seat, and these sensors will give NASA very important information about how various stages of the flight will affect the human crew that will be taking the same route later on. So what they're trying to do is actually study the impact of traveling to space on that dummy.
Yes.
These sensors will measure the force of gravity. They'll measure the amount of fitness that any human being needs to be able to go on a crewed mission to the moon. Now, the mannequin on Artemis 1 will actually also be equipped with 2 radiation sensors, and including the sensors in the seat. One will be under the headrest, and the other one will be behind the seat. This is to record the acceleration of the mission, but also to basically record the vibration that the mission will be traveling through and that the person's body will be going through. The data from these sensors will help NASA understand what they need to protect their human crew members on Artemis 2 and all the missions coming after that.
Amazing. Now, going back and talking about the poll now, I just went to NASA's Twitter account, which is NASA's Artemis program. It says, choose your player. Today's bracket for the name of the Artemis Moonkin Challenge features Ace and Largo. And Ace is winning with a 70% win. So people have the same idea as mine. Ace would be a cooler name than Wargo.
I totally agree. I feel like Ace actually fits the mission's name, especially when you want to send humans on other missions. So this one can be a bit more personalized.
Yeah, let's do it for like a quick promo.
Okay.
Wargo, where are you? Ace, I have landed. It's cooler.
Can we wait? I need to find the right music for
Ace.
this. Yeah.
But, ladies and gentlemen, today is finally Thursday, and it's time for us to jump into our space station or spaceship and go all the way to space
with
to meet
Ace.
Ace. But, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope you had a good time today on the show. We're going to wish you a very, 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 very happy and safe weekend, and we'll see you on Sunday, same time, same place. That's my robot voice.
If you liked this episode of Future Talk, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.